right, so let's go ahead and proceed. Now with tonight's session, it's going to be 100% hands-off, meaning you'll just hang back and just absorb the information. I will also send over the PowerPoints from today's session at the end. We have tons of these videos. They're actually broken down to 5-minute segments on the Moodle page. So if you go under the Technology Resources link on your Moodle, you'll have all these segmented in 5-minute increments. So we're going to start off by just covering tonight's agenda. So we're actually running a little late tonight. So with that, our agenda will be delayed by approximately 15 minutes. So you can disregard the times. So starting at the first block, we're going to go over Blackboard Collaborate, and we're going to make the most out of your virtual classrooms. So basically, we're going to go over configuring your view, how to message privately, and how to save the whiteboard, so that way you can create a study portfolio. After that, we're going to go over Blackboard Instant Messenger, and this is using the IM to study and also to get help. So we'll go over how to set up your Blackboard IM account. You may or may not have received this information because you generally receive it at the, I believe, either at the end of the first week or the beginning of the second week of class. So regardless, we'll just review that. It's very basic to set up Blackboard Instant Messenger. We'll also go over how to create study groups and how to create contacts and how to group your contacts and how to contact Bryan University departments for assistance. Then we'll just wrap up with a little bit of web browsers, so basic usage for Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Chrome, and then a few best practices, so making the most of your computer for your learning experience. Right? So again, in the first section, we're going to just go over Blackboard Collaborate, making the most of your virtual classroom. So we're going to learn how to change our session view to best suit our learning style. We'll also learn how to use private chat, and we'll learn how to save the whiteboard as a PDF to use for a study guide. So in the first portion, we're going to discuss the default layout. So when you first log into Blackboard Collaborate, you should see and this is going from the left pane, from bottom to top, you'll see chat, participants, followed by audio and video. Now with the Blackboard Collaborate session, you can completely customize it to your learning style. So let's say you want to focus on the chat and also focus on the content. You can just place your mouse on this little line here where my pointer is directed, and you can actually elongate it. So you can stretch it out, you can shrink it, whatever you want to do with it. You can make it as large or as small as you wish. You can also click these little arrows to open and close. As you see in this example here, I have the chat and the participants closed, as well as audio and video. Now you can tell they're elongated by the placement of this arrow. Once they're elongated, the arrow will point down. So since this has been collapsed, it will point to the right of your screen. Now in the event that you were to, because you can also click on these panes, just click and drag, and you can actually detach these panels. So in the event that you've detached your panels, or if you have set a view that's not convenient for you, you can just go up to the top and click on View, and then Restore Default Layout. Once you click on Restore Default Layout, that will restore it to the default, which will be the normal size for your participants and chat window with your audio and video collapsed. So you just have to click the little arrow next to audio and video, and that will elongate the window. So that's how you will configure your session view. Now to chat with others, because while you're in session, you have the option down at the bottom here to either chat with the room, which is everyone in your session. You can chat with moderators, which is anyone who has moderator in their name. So that would usually be your instructor, or if there's a teacher's assistant in the room, or sometimes other departments such as the IT services or even student outreach will log in as a moderator. So you have that option to speak privately with only the moderators. So if it's a case of you have a question for your instructor, but it could also be a question for outreach or for IT services, you can simply click on the Moderators tab below, and you can pose that question to all moderators. Now, in the event that you want to speak to one specific person, in the participants window, just double-click their name. Down below, you'll see their name appear on a tab. So from there, you can just start typing in as normal. You can click in here and type in. You can even add in a nice little smiley face. We actually have some really cool emoticons in here. So there's ones that I like to give 2 thumbs up to. So there we go, pretty awesome emoticons. Now if the person is typing, you will notice a dialogue icon next to their name. After they have sent their message, you will see the icon of a person change to an icon of a dialogue bubble, so a dialogue cloud. So again, if you want to speak privately to a person, find their name, double-click it, go to the tab below, and just start typing away. And that's how you would speak with them. Now the next portion here will be how to save your whiteboard. So let's say you want to save your whiteboard because your instructor has added information on the slide that is not in the session. So for instance, if I wanted to just add something in, I can go ahead and type. And this could be something that's beneficial or not within the text. Or even your instructor may highlight certain items to emphasize on the whiteboard. So in the event that you wish to save this info, it is very simple to do so. All you have to do at the very top of your screen is click on File, click Save, click Whiteboard. And on the next screen, you'll just select what you want to save, whether if you want to save all pages, current page, or select pages to save. After you've designated the pages you wish to select, click OK. And then this window should look familiar, as this is just your normal Save In window. So you'll just select the folder you wish to save, give it a name, click the drop down, and make sure you save it as a PDF. With the WBD file and the WBP, those files you will not be able to open outside of Blackboard Collaborate. With a PNG file, that's going to be a photo file, so the resolution tends to make any text blurry. It blurs out the text, so PDF will be your best bet. So once you select PDF, click Save, and it will save it in the destination that you choose. So it's really nice because what you can also do on your system, and we'll go over this towards the end of our session, is you can create folders. You can create folders, and within the folders, kind of create folders for each class. So for instance, when I did my personal training course here at Bryan University, I had a folder that said, was it Advanced Health and Fitness Training? So AHFT was the name of the folder, and then within that folder, I then had each class segmented out. So Medi 101 for my medical terminology, or Fit 100 for my Intro to Personal Fitness, and then within those folders, such as my Intro to PT folder, I had all my homework assignments. So all my homework assignments that were completed, all study guides, so that way, once it comes to the end of the term, I can then refer back to that folder and I have an entire term worth of study material. So it's a really nice feature and habit to get into, and I strongly, strongly recommend to do so because we're all busy students, so it's just a nice way that you can have all that material without having to go back and research it. So next we're going to get into Blackboard Instant Messenger. So with the Blackboard Instant Messenger, we're going to learn how to set up our account. Then we will review how to create a user profile, how to create contact groups, how to create a group IM session, how to use the IM Collaborate audio and video, and how to log into our Bryan University online offices. So with our first point here, we'll go over how to create a user account. Now with the user account, you're going to receive an email from Join Bryan. It will be titled Join Bryan University on Blackboard IM, and that will actually come from Blackboard directly. So it's not an email that we send, and I will actually zoom in to see if I can get a better resolution on this. No, unfortunately, the fonting's too small. I had highlight what it looks like in my Gmail account here. And then once you open up the email, the first link will take you to the page that you need in order to set up your account. So let's take a quick look at that page here. So as you can see here, it'll have you fill out your first and last name, your email address, and again I apologize because the fonting is really small on here. But the first point is going to be first and last name or username, then email address, and then confirm email address, password, confirm password, select a security question, and then click Save. So it's just like any type of online profile, whether if it's Facebook.com or Amazon.com, JustFab, whatever type of website you'd go to nowadays. It will require you to enter in a username, an email, and a password. So this part's really standard. It requires no assistance whatsoever. Now, after you've created your user account information, it will then log you into the website. And the website is blackboardim.com. So once it logs you into blackboardim.com, you just have to click the Download Blackboard IM button, or the bubble I should say, to then save and then run the actual program. Now with saving and running the program, I do not have any slides on that portion, as it's a standard. It's just like Yahoo Messenger, AOL Instant Messenger, Skype. They are all exactly the same when it comes to setting up an instant messaging program. So a lot of users, they look at Blackboard Instant Messenger as something foreign, but it's nothing foreign because we all use Instant Messenger in some way, shape, or form. So here we go. Now that we've gotten everything all set up, what you'll want to do is to actually create your user profile. This is optional, but creating a user profile will actually help you interact with your students, your fellow students, that is. As that way they get to see you, because you can add a photo, you can add a bio, and you can even add in a list of different websites. So whether if it's a website that you like, for instance, if you're a court reporter, there's readback.org. That's a pretty interesting website. And there's a few others out there. So you can put in those web addresses like readback.org and then have that on your profile and reference it as, hey, here's one of my favorite fun court reporting websites, or something to that effect. Or even exrx.net if you're a personal trainer, which is a really great resource site. So regardless, we have our Blackboard Instant Messenger set up now. So to create our user profile, you will just click the little icon here, which that icon will be of kind of like a Gumby type character. Or if you notice the participants icon in our session today, that's what it will look like, a bubble for a head and some shoulders. So once you click on that icon, you'll then just have to click on Profile. There you can enter in your email address, enter in a bio. You can click the picture, the photo icon here, to drag in a photo. Or if you have a photo already on your desktop, you can click and drag it right on top, and that will add in the photo. Once you've entered in or selected all the applicable information, you'll click OK at the bottom, and this will save your changes. So again, it's just a user profile. It's very straightforward, very simple to complete. So now that we have that set up, our user profile, let's go ahead and create a contact group. So creating contacts is actually really easy. You just have to go to the Classmates tab, click on that, and then you'll see everyone that's within your class set. So if you're an eDiscovery student, you'll see everyone in eDiscovery, everyone in Health Informatics, Health Information Management Coding, everyone in court reporting, whatever program that you're in, you'll see everyone. And you can see whether if they're available, which is a green dot, if they're away, which is a yellow dot, or if they're busy, which is the red dot. So to add someone to your contacts, which will be this first tab here, all you have to do is just click the little plus sign next to their name. So in this example, I have Angela selected. So in this example, I actually just have my mouse rolled over. So as you can see, there's her photo, the status, and also the profile information that she's entered. So it shows that she has not written a profile bio, but if she had written one, then that information will be displayed there. So if I wish to save her as a contact, which she's already under my classmates, but if I want a quick list of where I could find her, just click the plus sign, the plus turns into a smiley face, and then you'll see everyone that's currently underneath the contacts. So as you can see here, I have Aaron, Adrian, and Craig that are displayed on my as the first group of people here that are underneath my contacts. Now you can also, once you're under contacts, you can right-click a section and also create a section name. So it's a really nice feature there that you can kind of partition everything out depending on how granular you want to get. So now in the event that you do not have any partitions already set up, because I believe it may just have contacts listed or so, because you can right-click it and rename it. But you can also just go under contacts, and as you can see here, these are all the people that I have set as a favorite. So you can go under contacts, click that tab, then click people at the top, and then add group. After you click add group, just give the group a name, and then click add. So here you can see some of the groups that I have established, such as my department group, ITS. So here you can see all the people that were in my department at that time. Now you can see that one person, Aaron, was away, Craig was available, Eric and George were offline, Lane was away, and Matt was away. Or Lane was busy and Matt was away. And Dean here is online. So it's a nice little indicator so that way you can see who's available and then definitely touch base with your classmates or even instructors for that matter. Now in the event that you need assistance, you can always click on the School tab. Underneath the School tab, you will find a variety of different departments. So you'll find the bookstore, as shown here, bookstore, student accounts. You can find your program department, so court reporting, fitness, general education, library, tutoring, e-discovery, financial aid, help desk. All those departments are there and they're available for you. So if you want assistance with when using Blackboard IM, just click on School, double-click the name of the department. So for this example, I use Student Accounts. So I double-click Student Accounts, and then I just typed in a quick one-liner as to what my issue is. So here I just stated that I want to check my balance. I just have to click OK, and then it'll place me in a waiting list. So that way, depending on who's available, or who's ahead of me, I should say, I will either sit in the queue or the person may automatically escalate me into that queue so I can speak directly with them. So next, as I was mentioning, you can also use Blackboard Instant Messenger like Blackboard Collaborate. It is essentially the same program, as you can see here by these screenshots, and I will try to enlarge the page some. Here we go. So this window here should look pretty familiar. So if you notice that this window right here, and I'll see if I can possibly, get in some type of color border. Here we go. There we go. So this window here looks exactly like the window you're currently focused on. So we still have the same whiteboard, application sharing, and web touring available. We can also create a new page, clear the page, or delete the page. If we want to load in a presentation like I have here, you can do load content. You still have the same options to either select items, use a pointer, write, highlight, use squares, all of that good stuff. So it's a really, really convenient tool, and I highly recommend to use it because you can use this to converse with folks that are in your class. You can get tutoring assistance from them. You can also get tutoring assistance from our departments here and from your instructor or program director or program coordinator. Either way, the instructors will have office hours. A lot of them have office hours using Blackboard Instant Messenger. So if they were to meet up with you in Blackboard Instant Messenger, this is the type of situation that they would use. They would use the Collaborate on here. Now also, like I was mentioning with the little icons, such as this one here, you have the web tour. So here in this example, I used EXRX. So if there's a website or there's something that a person wants to show you, like let's say a piece of your machinery broke, and you're looking for a good website to find a replacement, let's say replacement key or a replacement ink cartridge, you know, something weird like that. Something you just can't go into Walmart or Target or Best Buy and just pick up there. That person can get you into one of these sessions, share that screen with you, and then you can go ahead and purchase the items on your own. So it's a really nice and convenient feature. Now also with this here, because to get into a Collaborate session, I do apologize because I neglected to show this on the previous screen. When you double click a person's name to open up the IM, you just have to click this icon here. So the icon of the whiteboard will take you into a Collaborate session. Now let's say you do not want to go back and forth with typing. So that you can simply just click the phone button, and then this window right here will open up to call them. Now when it calls, when you place a call within the Blackboard Instant Messenger, it will ring on the other person's end. So just giving you that heads up. But before just placing the call, what I always suggest is to open that up and make sure you go to Call Settings and then set your audio properties. So this is going to be just like when you logged into the session today and you did the audio setup. So here you would have to select if you're using your headset, your Plantronics. The top part is going to be for hearing, this bottom part is going to be for speaking. Then once you have that set up, and also you can set up your webcam as well, just click the drop down, and then just click OK, and then you can either click talk or video to go live. Okay, so that's how you would start up a conversation within the Blackboard Instant Messenger. So next, to wrap it up with the last two sections, we're going to go over some web browsers, best usage, and then just computing, best usage. So in this section, we're going to learn how to create bookmarks, how to clear our history, how to locate downloads, and also how to disable the tracking features. Because a lot of websites you can set to either track your info or do not track. With our portal site, you would need to disable the do not track because they would need to keep track of those cookies. So that's the importance of this section here. So first will be Mozilla Firefox. So with Firefox, or any web browser for that matter, we highly suggest to clear your history frequently. Now, I always suggest to do this before you go into any type of quiz, or even for certain lab sites, to do that as well, because it will just benefit you, so that way you don't run into an issue where, let's say your time clock accelerates, and as soon as you click on the Begin Test button, it just says thank you for taking an exam. The resolution to that is going to be clear the history, because that is probably our #1 testing issue, is that students do not clear their history. So once they go into a test, weird things happen. So we want to make sure that you're in the habit of clearing your history frequently. So to do so, you will want to click on the Firefox button at the top, click History, and then Clear Recent History. Next, you'll go to the drop-down and make sure you have everything selected, and then just check off all the boxes below. After you have everything checked, click Clear Now, and that will remove those temporary files from your Firefox browser. After you do that, I would suggest to disable the Do Not Track, so that way you do not run into an issue where, let's say you're trying to get into your student portal and you're entering your username and your password, and you know it's correct because you've used it a ton of times and you have it written down and all that good stuff. So there are times where you can enter in the correct username and the correct password, however, it'll still kick you back. A lot of times that's due to issues with either the cookies, which is why we suggest to clear out the history, or it could be the do not tracking information, where it's not reading the cookie properly, especially if you have that password saved. So to resolve that issue, you're going to click on Firefox, go to Options, followed by Options. Click the Privacy tab, which will have a little masquerade mask, and then just uncheck the box for tell websites that do not want to be tracked. After you do that, in the bottom of the screen, you'll just click OK, and it will save those settings for you. Now that you've cleared all that information out and gotten a clear path to your website, let's say you want to create bookmarks. So with creating a bookmark, it's super easy. In pretty much all web browsers, you're going to see a star at the end of the address bar. The address bar is this long bar here that starts with HTTP. This here is a search bar. So just to give you fair warning, when someone says I want you to go to, let's say java.com, they want you to enter it into this bar. Entering it into this bar, you can get a bogus java.com website, a site that actually contains a hijacker. So that is the most common way people can track viruses and weird toolbars and all that stuff. So when a person says go to java.com and click on download Java, you will see a big red free download button. So it's very self-explanatory. If you go to Google and type in java.com, you may get a different website such as Brothersoft, and then you'll end up downloading a bunch of other jargonware that really doesn't benefit you and will just slow down your system, if not cripple it over time. So again, to create that bookmark, you'll want to click on the star, and the star will just be an outline of a star, unless it's bookmarked, because once it's bookmarked, it turns into a gold star. Then you have the option to go to Name, and then change the name of the bookmark. You can also click the drop-down, or click this drop-down over here, and select which folder you want it saved in. If you accidentally bookmark the website, you can click Remove Bookmark, and that will remove it. Because if you just click on the star here, it's going to save it in your unsorted bookmarks, which you'll find under the Firefox tab and then Bookmarks. It'll have a folder that says Unsorted. But you can customize it by clicking this icon, and it'll pull down another field here where you can create a folder name. So it's really nice because then you can keep a section of reference material. So it's something I do in my professional and my scholastic career, where I always keep everything sectioned out so that way if I need a quick reference, I then go immediately to the source instead of trying to figure out, oh God, where did I put this? Where did I put this? Because I honestly do not delete anything. I hoard information. So since I'm an information hoarder, I have to make sure it's all separated and clean. So now getting to downloads. So when you go to a website, and let's say you're going to download Java as an example, and you go to the Java website and you click Save. Once it finishes downloading, and in Firefox you're going to have this little downloads manager. So let's say you want to find where it's saved. All you have to do is just right-click the name in the file list, and it's regardless of what's listed. You can do it for any item in your Downloads Manager. Just right-click it, and then click Open Containing Folder. Once you click Open Containing Folder, it will, well, as it says, open the containing folder. So as you can see here, this saved to my Downloads folder. Now with using any web browser, regardless of if it's Firefox, Internet Explorer, or Google Chrome, if you click download and then save, it's automatically going to save it to your downloads folder. But sometimes some users reconfigure their browsers to either ask them where they want it saved or to save it in a different folder or even save it on the desktop. So this information is just as a reminder of where your information is being stored. So next, to move on to Internet Explorer and how to clear the history there. So you're going to, in Internet Explorer, click on the Tools icon, go down to Internet Options, click Delete, so it will automatically open the General tab. So you'll just look towards the bottom and then click Delete, and then just check off your temporary files, your cookies, history, download, and then tracking and protection data. So all these items you'll check off, and then click Delete. And then once it finishes, because with Internet Explorer, the cache clearing is a little bit different from Firefox and Google Chrome. Actually, it's very different from them, because it actually pops up a banner at the bottom of your screen that lets you know once it's done clearing. Where the other two browsers, they keep a dialog window open, and once it's cleared, it closes that window. So this window would stay open, and then it would close. But since it is Internet Explorer, it just pops up from the bottom and just says your history has been cleared. So it's pretty different. Now to add a favorite, adding a favorite is the same. You can either click Add Favorites, or again, we have that star, which is towards the, well, it's the opposite end of the address bar. So regardless, whether if you click Add to Favorites and then Favorites, or if you just click the Favorite star, you again have the option to name the website. You can either click the drop down to create it in a folder, or here you can click New Folder and create a folder to section it out. So it gives you that freedom and flexibility, so that way you can again group in different types of websites, or similar websites I should say. After you've given your name, select where you want to save it, just click Add, and then it will add it there. You can also go back to Add to Favorites and find the favorites that you have added. So it's a pretty nice feature there. Now again, with locating downloads, in Internet Explorer, it's similar but different to Firefox. And with Google Chrome, it's completely different from these two. So if you're using Internet Explorer, and for this example here, I ironically downloaded a Firefox. So as you can see down below, my download has completed. So I have the option to run, to open the folder, or to view downloads. So in this example here, I had clicked View Downloads, so that way I could show you the Downloads Manager. Now in the Downloads Manager, you then see the name of the items that were downloaded. So it looks like here were 2 homework assignments, and then the Firefox setup file. Under the column of location, that will give you the folder in which it was saved. So as you can see, all 3 items were saved to downloads. So since this is a hyperlink, I have the option of clicking the word downloads, or whatever that file folder name may be. I can click that hyperlink, and then after I click that, it will open up the folder. If I just want to see the items within the Downloads Manager, I can click Run, and then that would then start the installation. Or in the case of these PowerPoints here, I can click Open, and it will open it up. So there's quite a few different options there. Now again with Internet Explorer, especially with Internet Explorer, in order to get into Portal with it, you have to disable that Do Not Track. So again, you're going to go up to the Tools icon, and then Internet Options, click on Advanced, and then scroll down to security, and then uncheck always send do not track header. After you uncheck this section, scroll down to the bottom of that screen and then click OK so you save that information. And that way it will allow you within the portal site. Without performing this step, you will potentially be looped back to the login repeatedly, and it will not progress past it. So that is not an issue with the username or password. It is just a tracking issue. Now also, with Internet Explorer and Portal, you have to set your compatibility view, your compatible view. IE10 is not yet compatible with Portal. We are awaiting an update which will make it fully compatible. So there are some items that you may click on that may not display properly. And that is just because the page is not compatible with IE10, just like a lot of other web pages out there. So anytime you encounter a page that's not displaying correctly in Internet Explorer, first thing you want to do is check this icon here. So as you can see, this icon is grayed out. So you'll want to click it and make sure it is this bright blue. So that way you know that it is set to a compatible view. So it will display all items listed on that page. Next, we will get into Google Chrome. So with Google Chrome, we'll start off with how to clear the history. Google Chrome is much different than the other browsers such as Internet Explorer or Firefox or even Safari for that matter. I will say that Google Chrome is probably the browser that you'll have the least amount of issues with at this point with web usage. And also it's a great feature because if you're using Gmail, then you can seamlessly integrate your favorites, emails, apps, and all that other good stuff by using Chrome. So, to clear the history, you're going to click on the Tools icon, then click History, followed by Clear All Browsing Data. So as you can see, it's more straightforward. Google Chrome was designed around the user experience. So that way you're going to have a lot easier processes to go through than you would with other browsers. Now with creating a bookmark, again we have that lovely star. So by now we all know what we need to do. Click the star, give it a name, click the drop down, and select what folder we want to save it in. With Google Chrome, if you do not select a folder, it will default to the bookmarks bar, which will be right here. So it'll be right below your address bar, right above the web page. It'll just put a little icon there to save it. So again, bookmarks, star, name, folder, done. Very easy. Now with locating downloads in Google Chrome, it is also a world of difference from the other. Here you'll kind of see a hybrid of Internet Explorer and a little bit of Firefox. And again, for this example, I used downloading Firefox. So since I went to the mozilla.org website and I clicked to save the Firefox setup file, down below it'll display the duration of that download. So whether if it's 5 seconds or 105 minutes, it'll have that information listed. Once it's downloaded, you'll see that the time has been removed. So all you need to do, if you want to locate it, is just click the drop down, and then you can click Show in Folder, and that will open up the folder. If you just want to download, save, and run it, just click anywhere on the icon. You can click the middle, the center, or even click the drop down and then click Open, and then that will open it up for you. So that was web browsers. So now it's time to wrap it up, which it looks like we're actually going to be on time for this one. At the end, I'll go ahead and enable the microphone so that way we can open up the floor to questions and answers, and then we can go ahead and move on from there. So at this point, it's just a few best practices. So we're going to learn where our files download on our computer. We'll learn how to create folders and how to create shortcuts. Because again, I'm gearing you all towards creating an educational portfolio. So that way, once it comes time for finals, you're not like myself where when I have a final, I literally run around my living room for about 30 minutes. Then I go hide in the closet for about 20 minutes. Spend about 15 minutes crying, start the final, and then fall asleep during it. So I want you to be a better student than me and make sure that you have all those resources. But since I am able to keep my educational information so organized, I can allot myself those moments of insanity. And as students, we all get that insanity card. I believe each term you get 5 of them or so. It's in the student handbook, the unwritten student handbook. So it's okay to pull the insanity card from time to time. So let's move along to the first section of best practices. So with this section here, I'm actually going to segment them out based on your operating system. But luckily, since this is a session devoted to Windows, Windows XP, Vista, and 7, they're all virtually the same. It's just that screwy Windows 8 that's a world of difference. So we'll start off with Old Faithful here, Windows XP, which we will be saying rest in peace to Windows XP next year, because this is the last year that Microsoft will support it. So come 2014, no more XP. It's going to be like Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows 3.1. It's like, who even remembers those? You know, I feel a little old because I remember 3.1. I actually had a job where I had to use 3.1, which was horrible, but regardless. So XP will be put out to pasture with the other operating systems, and it will be a sad, sad, sad day. But regardless, so searching your computer. So let's say you received some study material from your instructor. They said, hey, here's all the answers to the upcoming final, or, you know, which that almost never happens, but let's say the instructor says, here's all the answers, so study this material and you will for sure pass your exam. Well, let's say you forgot where you saved it. You know it came in your email, you know you clicked on download, you know that you hit save, you went to your downloads folder, but it's not there. So obviously you had saved it somewhere else, but who knows where you saved it. Let's say you've had your computer for 5 or 10 years. That's a lot of information on there that you'd have to sort through. And if you're not running regular disk cleanups and all that good stuff, then that'll slow down your computer and cause a lot of information congestion or just confusion, because who knows where it could be, or even duplicates from downloading something multiple times on your system. There's a lot of little things that impact our systems over time. So instead of going through that whole rigmarole of where is it, just click on Start, Search. Once this lovely search window opens, you're going to select what you want. I always select all files and folders, so that way it just checks everything. Once you select all files and folders, it'll then give you a cutout where you can type in the name or part of the name from the assignment, or even parts of it. Like let's say you have a quiz coming up and one of the sentences on it was, my hat is red. You can type in my hat is red in this search and then it will locate it. So that's the benefit of using that. So that's how it will function for XP. Just start, search, all files, and then search the name. For Windows Vista and Windows 7, and I've combined them because they are identical operating systems. So for Windows Vista and Windows 7, all you have to do is click the Start menu, and then you already have a cutout for search. So as you can see here, I just typed in the word Windows. And you see how it pulled up a lot of items with the word Windows in it, and it even segments it. So whether if it's a program, such as my Windows Explorer or Windows Media Player, If it's something in my control panel, such as Windows Firewall or Windows Defender, if it's a picture where I have Windows Explorer icon and whatnot, or a video, which is a Windows Media file, or Windows Media Video, which is WMV, or if it's OneNote where it has the word Windows in there, it'll pull it up regardless. So again, that's just start and search. I would say Windows Vista and Windows 7 is the easiest Windows operating system to search for an item. Then you have Windows 8, which, like I mentioned, is a world of difference. So Windows 8, you roll your mouse over in this corner to bring up your charms, which is this section here. After you roll your mouse, you will just lift your mouse directly above and then click on Search. In Search, you can type in the name, and then you can search for specific items, whether if it's an app, settings, or a file. So in this example, I use Firefox. So I type in Firefox, and it shows that I have 2 apps named Firefox. It also shows that I have 120 files that are either named Firefox or in a Firefox extension. So it's really nice. So let's say, again, using the example of homework. You have a friend that sends over some study material, and they named it Michelle's Study Guide. You can just type in the name Michelle and search, and it'll find anything with Michelle in it. So it could find contacts, your contact list. It could find any emails that any Michelle has sent to you, or it could find that Michelle's Study Guides document. So it's a really nifty feature, and honestly is my best friend on my computer. Because again, I over-organize. Sometimes I over-organize to the point that I'm disorganized. So searching definitely helps. So next will be downloads. So with downloads, like I mentioned, when you download an item, it's going to save it in your downloads folder. However, depending on the operating system, it can either be really easy or really screwy to get to that downloads folder. So to get to it, as a default with any of the Windows operating systems, you can go ahead and click the Start menu, go up to My Documents. In My Documents, you'll find your downloads folder. Now you can also go to Start and My Documents, and if you notice over here in this left pane, there's Downloads. You may have to expand the Downloads folder, but you're going to see Downloads right over there. Oh, excuse me, that's My Documents. Expand My Documents to locate Downloads right below it. So that's how you would do that in Windows XP. If you're using Windows Vista or Windows 7, you click on your Start menu. Again, you'll go to Documents and then to Downloads. If I had the pane showing, so that would be this icon here, it would show that little left pane like we saw in the XP. And then if I had that pane, the left pane showing, then I could just click on Downloads out of the left pane. But regardless, Start, Documents, Downloads, that's going to get you there. So it's really cool. Now with Windows 8, Windows 8 Start menu is different. Because to get to your Start menu, you'd have to roll your mouse over in this area past the E, past your Internet Explorer. So what I usually suggest as a fast way of locating your downloads is to just right-click your File Explorer, then click on Documents, and then you'll find Downloads. Again, in that left pane, you'll also see Downloads. Now, another way of going about it is when you right-click the File Explorer and then click File Explorer, you can find Downloads here under Favorites. You can also right-click Downloads and then click Pin to Taskbar. And if you do Pin to Taskbar, that's when you get these lovely icons here. So you can see I pinned my Firefox, I pinned SeaMonkey, I pin Google Chrome, I pin a Zoho meeting, pin my snipping tool, my sticky notes, my Outlook, Blackboard IM, and a few Office programs. So it makes it really convenient. Instead of going back and forth to the Start menu, you just use your little taskbar there. So next, we're going to wrap this up with 2 more items, which is how to create a folder and then shortcut to that folder. So like I was saying, organization is key, and the more organized you are, the further you can get because, well, let's face it, you're not spending all day searching for an answer. It's so funny how in office environments especially, how you can find people that will spend an entire day searching for an answer because they have the information in front of them. It's just disorganized. So creating these folders, whether if it's work or professional life, will definitely get you on that road to excellent organizational skills. So the way that you would do that, you would just go to the location you want to create a folder. So let's say you go to your desktop. Okay, you just go to any clear spot in your desktop. Doesn't matter if it's the top, bottom, center, just as long as there's nothing there. Then you right-click in that section. When you right-click it, you're going to get this box here. So once you get that box, all you have to do is just click on New, or roll your mouse over New, and then Folder. Once you click New Folder, you'll get this icon here. As you can see, this writing is highlighted in blue. So when you see writing highlighted in blue like that, that means it's ready to be edited. So you can just hit the backspace button on your keyboard and then type in a folder name, such as Bryan University homework for the year of 2013 or so. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it funny photos, ridiculousness, stuff. I have plenty of folders on my computer that are titled stuff, random stuff. I don't know what this is. Do I need this? You can call it whatever you want. It's your computer, so no one's going to fault you for the name of your folders. So you can do that. So now let's say you went ahead and created this folder in your documents. But locating it in documents, it takes a little too long. So as you can see here, I have an example on the board where I am trying to create a shortcut for my downloads. So I just went into my user folder, which contains all my other folders. I right-clicked Downloads. So as you can see here, it's right-clicked. This dialog window opened up. So I rolled my mouse over Send To. And then I clicked Desktop, Create Shortcut. Now as you can see here, right below the new folder I had created, I just created a shortcut to that downloads. So instead of going into Start menu and then scrolling up to the top right pane and then clicking my username and then getting to this folder and then clicking on Downloads, I have the downloads already shortcutted on my desktop. So yeah, it's a very convenient feature and highly recommended, so that way you're not there getting computer anxiety, because it happens to the best of us. So even when things take too long to load, I get anxious. I'm like, oh, come on, hurry up, hurry up. So that's when I just walk away and get a glass of water, slice of lemon. So just want to make sure that your experience is as flawless as humanly possible. If I can guarantee it's 100% error-free, I would, but unfortunately, I can't guarantee that because, well, it's life. Sometimes it's difficult with technology. But regardless, we have a very, very talented, highly skilled group of technicians here that will definitely go the extra mile to make sure that you're taken care of and that you can get in and you have a firm understanding. And if it's something that we can support, we'll definitely make sure we hand you off to a person who can support you fully, such as with academic issues, because we're not instructors. We can't tell you how to do your homework, but if your files are not opening, we can help you open it and then get you to your instructor who can explain how to do the work. So that's pretty much it. So at this point, I am going to open up the floor to questions. And of course, if you have any further questions outside of this session, you can reach us via email. And our email is its@bryanuniversity.edu. And then our phone number, that's our email there. Our phone number, which is our direct line, directly into help desk, or excuse me, to ITS, and no other department, but our direct number is 888-355-1546. So either way, that's our contact info. So any questions so far? You have any questions or anything you want any clarity on, or any requests for any of the videos here? Just so definitely let me know, and then I can make sure to furnish that information. One thing I do want to supply you with here before we leave the session, I definitely want to send you over the slides from today. So I'm actually doing that as we speak. And it should load up in just a second. It looks like it's about 12% or so loaded to the server. So once you receive that, do you want to save yes or no? It's optional. I'll leave that to your discretion. If you want a hard copy of this information, definitely click yes to save it. And then you can save it wherever you wish on your system. Best part is we just went over how to locate it, so you know, chances are it's either going to be in your documents or your downloads. So I'll just give a few more moments here to allow this to completely transfer. And if there are no further questions, comments, or concerns, then we can go ahead and conclude the session. So it looks as though the item is just about there as far as transferring. Now also, for further information and for these links, the video links that I've mentioned, I am going to paste in the link to the Moodle shell. So that way, you can go at your leisure and then pull up that reference information. So here we go. Looks like the presentation is coming through. And with a bit of luck, my computer will cooperate. So I have entirely too many windows open at the moment. And I can supply you with that link. There we go. So the link I just put into the chat window. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and conclude the session. My name is Kimberly Sanders. I'm the Learning Management Systems Administrator for LoudCloud and the Senior Bryan University IT Services Associate. If you have any further questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us via email, which is its@bryanuniversity.edu, or via phone, which is 888-355-1546. Thank you and have a great evening.